You were telling me, Steph, you don't have to work hard anymore. That might work for somebody else, but I'm not gonna do that.
If you only chase trends and you hop on every new thing, you'll have a lot of people that know you, but you don't have a lot of people that support you.
You spitting facts this episode, man.
You are now listening to the Connecting Creators podcast. Here we explore the topics and guest stories to better understand how creators think, how they connect with their audience, and ultimately, how they create.
Do you remember how to say, can I use the bathroom in French?
No, I actually don't.
Je peux aller aux toilettes? S'il vous plaît? No?
Nah,
That was terrible. It's
all good.
All right, fam. So what we got first?
All right, so we're starting off today's episode with a segment where we cover the news rapid fire style.
Yes.
So today we're taking 5 minutes to discuss a few things. And yeah.
So you want to put a timer on your phone?
5 minutes starts now. So the first topic is, it came out recently that Drake wrote his Churchill Downs verse in 11 minutes. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's very tough, man. That just shows another part of his greatness, because a lot of people, aren't doing that, especially for it to turn out that way. It's crazy.
Definitely. I told you this already, but it reminds me of that Picasso story where, like, basically the Picasso was drawing a sketch on a napkin for a lady in the street. It only took him 3 minutes to actually draw it, and he charged like hundreds of dollars at the time. And she's like, "Why are you charging me this much when it took you 3 minutes?" And he's like, "Because it took me 30 years to learn how to do it in 3 minutes." So it's kind of a similar thing, because like Drake's been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
it takes him no time to do it.
Yeah,
but
honestly, that's just so tough just to think of that on the spot. But that's very true, though. All the years of experience of different things really cultivates and helps you, get to like a final masterpiece. So
yeah,
that's really interesting. I wonder if he's done that for any of his other songs too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he gets other people to write the other half of it. So
this guy's chatting.
I'm chatting,
bro.
All right, next one.
All right, so next topic I'm gonna be talking about is on the sports side of things, and Tiger Woods just recently became a billionaire, not a millionaire, billionaire. And there's only 3 athletes that have done this. You know who those 3 are?
Michael Jordan.
Who's
yeah. Bro, I don't know.
Also
LeBron. Really?
LeBron James.
Very weird.
Yeah. So Bron, MJ, and now Tiger are all billionaires. And one of the things I really found interesting was that it said only about 10% of that is from his golf earnings.
Oh, wow.
So I think that just really shows the importance of, venturing off into different things, building your portfolio. And I think, as creators ourselves, we don't want to hold ourselves into one box.
No, definitely not.
Obviously, people might know me as a basketball player. People might know you as a content creator, but there's a bunch of other things that, we're interested in, and, I feel like we can get into, So I think that's just great. That just shows, because, LeBron, he owns a bunch of teams. Michael's obviously the owner of the Charlotte Hornets.
And the shoes help.
Yeah, shoes, of course, help. And, Tiger, he's in a lot of different things. So
And LeBron does, like, production, too.
Yeah.
And the
Space Jam.
what's the barbershop show?
Barbershop, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on YouTube, yeah. I see
Yeah.
that on Apple TV too, I think it is. But yeah, so I mean that's just really interesting. I didn't know there was only 3 people. Where's your guy Connor at, man?
He be spending too much, bro. Spending way too much.
Yeah. I think he's only
Mayweather didn't reach that, like, net worth wise, or
he probably spends too much too.
Yeah, bro.
Because I know McGregor's net worth, I think, is 200 mil.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was more. I don't know why I thought it was more, but we still got a minute for it.
Still got a minute left? Okay, bet. So we'll go to the next topic. So Netflix. Have you heard much about it?
Nah, not really. I mean, I heard something, but you can educate me on it.
All right, so let's cover the social media side of our segment, and basically Netflix. I mean, you probably already know what's going on. Essentially, they made the prices go up.
Of course.
They won't allow you to share accounts now. And then I believe that if you don't share the account, like, it's a lower price, so they play ads on it. It's like
ads on Netflix.
It's kind of crazy, because like the whole reason behind Netflix in the first place was so that you could watch movies and TV shows without ads. And obviously, it's all being in one place, but the advertisements at the time were the big deal because like people could record their TV shows, but then you gotta fast forward through the ads.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, you can just play it. It's good to go. On to the next one. On to the next one. Binge it.
Yeah.
How you gonna binge it after like a 2-minute ad in between, bro? It's like, yeah, on to the next show.
That's tough. That's really tough.
And you watch a lot of shows. So.
I watch a lot of shows. Peaky Blinders, new season just came out. I need to start on that. That's fire. Money Heist, I'm almost finishing that. So yeah, I watch a lot of shows on Netflix, but if there's ads, that's gonna start really.
Yeah. So I think it's like there's a lower price and then there's gonna be an upper price. I think if you pay the lower price, I don't know how the sharing works on that.
Okay.
The lower price gets the ads, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If they put it on all of them, then that's just stupid. Then,
Yeah.
I mean, Disney took all their shows anyways. So yeah.
Yeah. When I was
timer! You don't get to finish your sentence. Finish your sentence.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when I was in America for school, the Hulu I had came with like a Spotify bundle account, and there was a lot of ads, and bro, I was like, I could not do this. Like every 15 minutes was like a 1 minute ad, and it was the same ads every time. Like at least change up the ads, you know what I mean?
No, definitely. You are now listening to Spotify. Please pay for premium.
Facts.
All right, so
what we got next?
Now we're gonna talk about successful people and their mindsets.
Okay.
And we're gonna do it in a bunch of different fields. So sports, music, YouTube, like content creation. The reason why we're doing that is so we can pull similarities from multiple fields. Obviously, Steph here is a athlete. He's a specimen.
Hey, you.
No, but yes, obviously Steph here is an athlete, so he's got sports side, and I'm a fan of music. You're a fan of music, so we've been watching that since we were like kids, and obviously I create content, so I understand that side.
Right.
So it'd be good to just connecting creators.
Yeah,
in it, bro.
For sure. Yeah, man. I mean, I think you let me start this one off.
Yeah. Start it off.
I'm gonna start with the guy that immediately came to mind when I thought about this, Kobe Bryant. And he embodies everything that the mindset that I want to have. And I think the reason why I started off with his name is that you can kind of really relate that to any field. It doesn't matter what you do. And he talks about a lot of that in the interview. He's like, if you want to be great at something, you have to sacrifice some other things. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's basketball, he wrote books, he did storytelling, all that stuff. So whatever you do, it's really just important that you kind of put your best foot forward and have that mindset that, put in the time, put in the effort, and you're going to be great. And I think that's the reason why Kobe's really, rest in peace, but he's, especially after he's passed, like, I think a lot of people really realize how much he's meant to not just basketball players, but to everyone else.
Yeah.
When he died, that impact was felt around the world. And a lot of people that didn't even know him, I didn't obviously know him personally, but I felt that, I felt like I did know him. So I think that's just a big thing that kind of he has.
Yeah, no, I felt it too. I remember I was at work. My boss at the time told me. I stopped my shift, went to the break room. I was like, yo, what is happening?
I was confused. I thought it was a joke, bro.
But you brought up a good point, how his principles and philosophies translate. Because 2 years in after you retire, you won an Oscar, right? A year or two, whatever the case was.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years.
And it's, that's
tough.
That's a very good achievement to do, especially because athletes aren't known to be creative.
No.
Although I do find they are. You're very creative.
Right. Appreciate you.
Kobe's creative.
Appreciate you.
I got you, bro. But yeah, so we'll move on to some digital creators.
Okay.
Digital creators, TikTokers, and YouTubers, etc. Today, I'm only gonna be talking about YouTubers though.
That's fine.
Their ability to always adapt on YouTube, because and any social media platform.
Yeah.
It moves fast.
That's
bro.
a big thing.
And
that's really a big thing.
For them to be able to do it for 8 years, 10 years, especially KSI, for example, because I'll use him because I watch him all the time.
Right.
But every time I see him, different stuff. In the same genre of what he does, but it's different. It's different. It's new. It's whether he's creating it or whether it's from other people and he's adapting it into his own way. Similar to ball.
Yes.
Look at how Steph Curry changed the three-pointer. Probably impacted the game more than LeBron did, in a way.
Yeah.
Just because of that one, one way of thinking, and then now everyone. Because I remember in like 2010, it was like 3-pointers a game.
I know, it was like
and
5
now
threes a game.
it's like 70% threes, and I don't even watch ball, and I still know that because it's like everyone's talking about how it ruined the game and everything. But I mean, same thing on YouTube. You could say like clickbait ruined it because the content isn't up to date. But I feel like there's truth to those things, but in the most part, that's how it's always been. Like,
honestly, adaptability is just like, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, that's one of the biggest things for anybody that wants to be successful. Yeah. Because, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. Like even for me, like what I took in school, you know, exercise science, like science is always an adapting field. Like there's gonna be something new about, you know, sports performance today, and then there's gonna be something new like in a few days, you know what I mean? So if you can be adaptable and, you know, be able, and that's why you don't want to have like a closed off mindset too, I feel like. Because if you're closed off to one thing and stubborn to one thing, you're not going to be able to adapt and improve like everyone else. You know, you're going to kind of be behind.
Definitely. And I feel like it's important to be unemotional about the way that you do things. Like, for example, this podcast right now, the way that we're doing it, it's not always going to be the way that we do it.
Right.
But if we're attached to it with the nostalgia and everything, it's like we're going to get left behind. I don't know. I'm chatting now. Bro.
Nah, you're spitting facts, bro. You're spitting facts.
So finishing up with this topic, let's talk about some artists. Big man like Drake.
Big up Drizzy.
Talk about adaptability. Drake has just always adapted, always innovated, always stole people's work. No, I'm joking.
But it's funny because he's become so versatile that, and I remember like when he first started really getting into, you know, the Caribbean side of things. Yeah. A lot of people were like, bro, what is he doing? Like, why is he doing all this? What's this like controller stuff? Like, one dance, like, it's really not that good, right? But you see the numbers, and that's just like, I don't even know, because I think Views is a crazy album in like, not even in his like catalog, but just I feel like just hip hop, like for hip hop / rap, like during our generation, because that's one of those albums that's like, people first was like, bro, what is this? Yeah. Like, what's he doing?
You said Views, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people right away wanted either one side of it, where it's like either like R&B, or they wanted
or just like rap,
club bangers, and it wasn't that. It was like reflective. It was introspective.
Yeah,
it was different for sure, and I feel like that's why it's aged really well. So
yeah, and I think, you know, it's amazing when there's not a lot of people in this world that, if I'm being completely honest, that when they talk, like, I'm like super attentive, like as far as like celebrities go. Yeah. But, you know, I remember when Drake had that interview in his crib, you know, he said a lot of great things.
The Apple one? Huh? The Apple one with Zane Lowe?
Yeah. And I think it was just like kind of cool to kind of see how he thought. You know, he really talked about like his alone time a lot, and I think that's definitely really important for anybody. You know, obviously we're human beings, and, you know, we're gonna kind of be around different people and stuff, but, you know, that alone time and that independence, you know, sometimes that's when you really cook up your best ideas and your best thoughts, you know what I mean? So
it's funny because the guest I was talking with, Jacob Hayden, who I just had on, we were actually talking about that exact interview, because we were talking about writing music, and he was saying when he writes his verses, he wants to make you think a little bit, and then I brought that up, and I said, yeah, that's how Drake said it, because he said, if you get it on the first listen,
right,
yeah, it's a good song, but people are gonna forget about it. I feel like with Views especially, he wrote it that way to where it's like every time you come back to it, it takes some listening on your part.
Right.
Yeah, so like that translates throughout a lot of artists. Like, I mean, I don't care for a lot of like the quick rappers that go in there and freestyle, but like I can appreciate their music. Yeah, I don't listen to it all the time for that reason, because it's surface level in a way. Not to disrespect them, but it's just.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
So while we're on the topic of music, now we're going to transition into how TikTok changed the music industry. Okay. A big thing that I took notice of right away when I was on TikTok, because I joined in like 2019. Okay. And I noticed, I was like, bro, I think the first song I noticed was There's a song Valentino by 24 Karat Golden,
Mm-hmm.
and then also at the time, Old Town Road came out like a week after that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, "This is crazy," because it's everywhere, and when you press on the sound, it's got millions of videos.
Right.
And when you think about millions of videos with millions of likes on it, how many millions is that, bro?
That's
I mean,
a lot.
like the first 20 probably have millions of likes, and then the rest are like.
Quick maths, that's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. So it's like when it translates to streams and people are confused of why is this at 1 billion? It's like it's no different from before when it would be like SoundCloud or YouTube.
Right.
And it's but it's just on steroids now because it's so much more viral.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that virality, I want to talk about like some songs that are just trends on there and like they'll have like a short lifespan on actual Spotify and charts, and songs that like First Class, like Old Town Road, like
that one, Renegade, bro.
But like, there's a difference between making a song for TikTok and having a good song that does well on TikTok.
Yeah,
because I find
that's a really good point.
You can hear it right away because you can
just like made for TikTok. No, I agree 100%.
Like they'll still do well, they'll still like rack up numbers, but someone that I thought could have done better was that Mooski guy, Trackstar. Trackstar.
That's a banger.
And then you followed it up with like the Chris Brown remix on
the
it.
Remix, yeah.
And then I was waiting to hear his next song. I was like, okay, he's got to come a little bit different. And he kept doing the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like he had like 4 or 5 remixes.
Yeah.
Because I think it is hard for artists because obviously if you have one really good song and it's like really popular on TikTok and stuff and you have your other stuff, like it's either do I just like milk this song as long as I can and just play it and have people remix it. Because obviously for him to have like C Breezy on there is like, it's tough. Yeah, that's tough, you know what I mean? But like, do you do that as much as possible or do you try to like put out more like content at that time? Like what would you do if you were an artist? Would you try to put out more content that's like similar, or would you kind of like see what you can do with that because you don't know, like with this day and age, like you don't know, that might be a 1 week, 2 week period where that song is fire. It might be 4 weeks, you know what I mean? So what would you do if you were an artist?
I would do like 1 remix tops.
Yeah, I think that's
but I would honestly, I would come up with another song first, just in case it flops. And then you can do the remix, continue the momentum, and then have a second attempt.
Like how you think. Smart.
So that kind of goes into the subject of putting out content that you think is good versus doing things that are just trends.
Love this topic. I love this topic.
It falls into similar plane.
So I think you should start first and talk about because you're the one that kind of brought this to my attention, for real. So just kind of explain what your take is on it, as far as content creation and stuff. All
right. Well, this is like a fan and creator perspective mixed into one, and it's not the same that I had when I started at all. When I started, it was just trends,
right?
And that's why the content was so bad, but the numbers were somewhat there. I feel like you need a balanced approach. Because there's purists that are just like, they just care about the video or the art, for example.
Right.
And they can still, a lot of them still do well. But like, when they start out, it takes so much longer because like, there's no audience engagement behind it. There's no momentum. It's just, I like this piece of work. I'm putting it out. This is good. I'm putting it out. And like, say, for example, in an industry where they could get 100,000 views a video, they get like 20,000, which is not bad by any means, especially when you're doing something that you enjoy.
Right.
But I feel like if they just balanced it a little bit more, it would be perfect. Like, even think about music when artists are in such like a unique genre, like indie, for example.
Right.
If they marketed it a different way or they went out into different genres a little bit, they'd probably be a bigger artist.
Yeah.
But that's not what they want to do, so they keep it pure, and a lot of them do well, but it's a lot harder to do well just doing exactly what you want to do.
Right.
Now, on the other side, if you only chase trends and you hop on every new thing, you have a lot of width, which is numbers, and reach and engagement, but you don't have a lot of depth, which is consistent, like fan base. Like, for example, so you go to the Lakers because they're like a big name. You'll have a lot of people that know you, but you don't have a lot of people that support you.
Right.
Unless you play really well under that. So it's like, I feel like it's good to balance.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it.
Man, you spitting facts this episode, man.
I'm spitting a little bit. I'm sorry, bro.
This guy is moving crazy. Yo. Get some water, bro. You deserve that drink of
Get
water,
some hydration, bro.
Hydration station, yeah. Oh man, nah, bro. That was great. Honestly, I don't even know what to say to top that, for real. Cause that was you basically just said that perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to gas your head.
Nah, I appreciate it, brother.
Gas your head top.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. You got nothing to add to that?
Like that was poetic.
Poetic?
That was poetic. I'll just say real quick that another thing, I guess, for me, with what you're saying is that I've always grown up trying to be as authentic as possible.
Your tattoo. Or we're not talking about that.
What about my tattoo?
It says don't be popular, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my first tattoo that I got. But basically, I've always grown up that way. And I've always embraced my heritage, my culture. You know, I got my Jamaica wristband on me. I'm a proud Jamaican Canadian. And it didn't matter what stage of life I was in. It was elementary school, high school, college. Like, if I wasn't authentic and I wasn't, like, true to myself, then something was wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like, in a way, that also can relate to content creation and basketball and stuff like that. Like, for me as a basketball player, I don't want to... Obviously, I can learn from different people, but I don't want to change who I am, you know? So, I think that's just, like, a great point. And obviously, like you said on TikTok, it's really hard because there's like a balance that you got to find, you know. Because I remember there's that one guy. What was that challenge? The Junebug challenge.
What's that?
That dude, like, he had like that whole trend that he started, and like he was the creator and everyone else followed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, all right, now everyone knows him for that. How long can you do that challenge for?
Yeah.
And his videos were tough. Like, he would do them in different locations, but like it got to a point where it's like, all right, like day 60, like there's only so much you can do. Definitely. You know what I mean? But then there's the other people that are really good at copying like other trends and stuff, and it's like, oh, like this person's always good at remastering stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So obviously, there's nothing wrong with remastering something and make it your own, but I think, you know, there's definitely like a balance. And I mean, yeah, you put it picture perfect.
Appreciate it. So let me ask you something. Mm-hmm. This is not on our topics, but something I just thought about. Okay. In our last few topics, we talked about adapting. Now we're talking about staying true to yourself and being authentic. So how do you balance that?
That's a great question. And yeah, you can definitely, that's a really good point. You can definitely lose yourself trying to adapt to, you know, especially just like in regular society. Like, you can try to adapt to being, you know, this social media guru or whatever, that might not be who you are, but you're like, oh, I see everyone getting to the money that way. Let me do that. Let me try to do that. I think the biggest thing is like the base values got to be there. Yeah. So like whatever you're doing, you got to have your base value. So for me, something that's really important to me is work ethic. Yeah. It doesn't matter in school, basketball, anything I'm doing, work ethic, right? So obviously when you adapt, you're going to take some new things from either people or, you know, like, that's just like, you know, say you read a book and you gain knowledge and you're like, okay, like, I can add that into my repertoire. But I think the most important thing is you keep your base value. Yeah. So like for me, if I'm a hard worker and that's what I am, I'm going to keep that no matter what I'm doing. And no matter how old I am, no matter what I'm learning, no matter what people are telling me. Yeah. If people are telling me, yo, Steph, you don't have to work hard anymore. Like, just take it easy and you'll be fine. You know, worry about, you know, just building your brand and, you know, Just take it easy. Stop working out in basketball. You don't need to get in the gym. You don't need to get extra shots up. That might work for somebody else, just because of their situation, or maybe they're a really good basketball player or whatever. But I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's also like it's become something where people are, especially when people work out, like they just go through the motions, and they want to look cool, and then they got the people on the side with the cameras putting on mixtapes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fall into that.
No,
you know what I mean? I'm just gonna work hard and I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Bro, you don't even talk to me when I'm there and you work. I'm just on the sideline. I'm just trying to film you and
Yeah.
You're just locked in.
Yeah.
But
honestly, bro, that's like a really hard question. And
I think you answered it well though, because you brought up a good point of like you can adapt and innovate and learn, but if it's too far outside of your realm, it's gonna be hard to pull from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you summarized that really well.
And like one more point I could add to is just like, I guess a better way to compare it for people who maybe not really understand what I'm saying is like, when you become successful, are you still true to your values?
Yeah, or even if you fail.
Or if you fail. Honestly, it's hard both ways, but like, because if you fail, it's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna give up. Like,
because I don't know about you, Mr. Superstar, but I failed more times than I've succeeded in my life.
Oh so no,
I don't know.
Bro, what?
I know you're OD with it.
I've failed a lot.
I know you just be like,
Bro, stop gassing me up. This boy be gassing me up, man. He talking. Don't listen to him. Bro, everyone goes through their failures, bro. Especially me. I've gone through so many failures. I've had fans cuss me out. I've had, so it's like, that's a great point that you bring up the failures. So obviously everyone talks about success all the time, and that's kind of like the bar, like being successful. But what happens when you fail?
Yeah.
Then it's really hard to stick to your values, because then you're like, oh, I'm failing. I'm not gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna go look elsewhere and look at someone else and be like, oh, this is what they're doing. Okay, so maybe this is what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna get to the money that way, or I'm gonna get to where I want to get to that way. But say if you do get there, are you even satisfied that because you didn't do it your way? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So speaking about like staying true to like your core beliefs and your values, I feel like that's a element that helped us be friends long distance for so long.
Facts. Big facts.
Do you want to get into that?
Yeah.
Start it off?
Yeah. I think when people talk about long distance, they always think the first thing about like girlfriend, boyfriend, like relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to be able to stay in touch with your family and your close friends, and obviously you're a brother to me. So basically, we're in two different stages of life. I'm going off to college and in a different country playing basketball. You're over here starting your content creation, working, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And I think obviously it's really easy for someone, once they get even just like a little taste of success and popularity or whatever it is, it's easy for that person to kind of forget who was with them before and their close ones and their family and stuff like that. So I think for me, it's just...
This guy just called himself humble, but it's okay.
Humble warrior.
But you are
humble warrior.
So...
A little bit. I'm a little humble.
Does that make you conceited since you're full of yourself for being humble? Okay. Nah, that's too deep. That's too deep.
Nah, you kill me, bro. You on one today. You
I'm really, on one, bro. I'm sharp.
I was about to say something crazy.
Say it, bro.
Nah, I'm not saying it. You was but nah, you're really talking those facts today. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, bro, I think the important thing is
it's like the diameter of the sun's based on the pressure of the water.
Bro, I don't want to.
Okay, nah,
I don't want to hear you talk
go.
about the freaking Rasengan with the freaking stove, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Let me get on my topic. Yeah, bro, I think the biggest thing is being able to balance everything. I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this because, obviously with me and her, we've been doing long distance this past year when I was at St. John's. and even now. And balance is the biggest thing. Being able to balance everything, and it's really easy to get consumed in what you have to do and forget about the other stuff. And even myself, like the first few years of college, I felt like I did a horrible job staying in touch with like my parents, some of my other close brothers. Yeah. And I feel like I've gotten way better at that just because it's like, at the end of the day, like y'all are my people, and I gotta keep, like, you're my inner circle, so I gotta keep y'all in the loop all the time. I was checking in, FaceTime here and there, call here and there, you know what I mean? So I think it's just really just like a learning experience, but I think those connections are really important to maintain no matter where you are. Like I could be in Europe and I still need to be like, all right, like let me check in with Steve real quick to see what he's doing, you know what I mean? You know, I kind of talked about my side of it. What are kind of your thoughts and opinions on long distance relationships?
I feel like it's just based on the people, like you, like your character is all focused on being the best version of yourself. So I feel like that's important, and like mine's the same, but yours is a lot stronger, I feel, in certain aspects. So I feel like it makes it real easy as I hit you up, and I know if you don't get back to me, it's not because it's for a good reason. It's because you're focused on something, and I respect that. Like,
I'm a bad texter.
No, you're definitely not.
Sometimes.
No, definitely not. I don't know, bro. I feel like you hit it on the nail. You hit it perfectly. I think another thing too is that because we were into different fields, that could have made us drift apart, but it didn't. And I feel the reason is because exactly for the reason of this show, because there's similarities that we can draw from, and it's got nothing to do with basketball. It's got nothing to do with making content. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with all the in between that connected, and even similarities too. Because I mean, we talk about the same thing all the time. It's boring, and like we've had so many talks, especially during the quarantine period.
Oh gosh!
And it definitely helps that we're both passionate about music and even MMA now for you. Because like we be talking about things that shouldn't relate, but they do, and things that don't correlate, but they do. Just in the way that we talk about it. So I feel like that's helpful.
For sure.
Just finding common grounds in terms of things that you're passionate about. Yeah. I think it's different with you because you're not like I said, you're very creative and you have an open mind, so you learn about a lot of other things like I do, and that's why we're both like interested in so many things that we can always talk about different things no matter what we do. Right. So yeah, that's just my take on it. I got you, man. But yeah, I think you hit that topic perfectly. Go.
Shield potion. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of long distance, I'm not gonna see you guys in a while, so
yeah, we got some guest interviews that Steph unfortunately is not a part of. So I gotta carry the show a little bit. Yeah. But it's okay. Once a week, Steph will be here on the show.
We'll be good, fam. We'll be good, fam.
We'll be tight.
We'll be straight. But appreciate y'all for tuning in, and yeah, that's all we got for y'all.
All right, take care.